Good evening, good morning, good whatever you're having wherever you are in the world. Hello everyone, welcome back to Occult Catalyst. Today we're diving deep into a topic close to every practitioner's heart, magical tools. Do you actually need them to practice effectively? Let's explore various ritual tools, debunk some myths, and discuss how you can either simplify your practice or enrich it with these tools. So let's break it down. Magical tools aren't just accessories, they're extensions of our will and energy. So a couple different kinds of tools. First one we'll go over is wands. Traditionally used to direct energy and intent. I don't yet have a wand. Mine actually shows up tomorrow, funny enough, and is a selenite wand. While I do have two wands, they are crystals, and I think wands should be wood, but that's a personal opinion. And again, I just said I'm getting a selenite wand, so I guess traditionally I think wands should be wood, and I will get a wood wand at some point, but this wand I'm getting is like a big chunk of selenite. That'll be really cool. The ones I do have though, this one is iolite and is a crystal wand that you could use to direct energy. I just have not used it in that way. I more use it in a crystal grid or as a crystal. So next would be an athame. These ceremonial daggers are not for cutting physically, but for directing physical energy or psychic energy. My first athame was a gifted piece pocket knife made from ivory and from my father. I used it in my binding ceremony with Lilith and created an energetic athame out of that ritual. That is an extension of our bond. So this is that. So really it's just a pocket knife that I turned into an athame, but it was a knife that I've never used and is more sentimental, and then I used in a pretty big ritual, so now I use it as my main athame. Crystals, kind of everybody knows about crystals, but these are natural energy amplifiers. Each type of crystal has its own unique vibration, and each crystal has a certain correspondence. Learning your correspondences is a powerful way to potentiate your magic, and crystals can be powerful boosters to any spell work, ritual work, or work where focus and intent is needed. So you got all kinds of crystals. One you're going to use as, especially like a demonologer or just on the darker side of the occult, or even just for grounding and protection, is going to be your smoky quartz crystal. So I always advise having good bit of those. One that I like is this, I think it's an aqua aura quartz. I picked this up at a metaphysical shop near me. And supposedly this one kind of radiates like a protective field around you that just cleanses any malevolent like energies from your aura and your energetic field. So I like having this one around. Normally I sleep with it near me, near my bedside. So just feel like it kind of helps keep away anything that would want to do me harm. Again, not necessarily like negative energies or negative polarity beings, more things that are just straight up malevolent or are out for my worst interest. Candles. Each color embodies specific energies. Again, going back to correspondences, it's a big thing to learn. I am not going to go over all the correspondences because there's so much with that, but there's plenty of lists online. If you're working with a specific entity, like let's say Lilith, for example, you can look up different color correspondences, symbolism that goes with her, astrological signs that go with her, a whole bunch of stuff that you can pull and use together to bring together like a more energetic and powerful ritual and magic and spell work and stuff like that. So important to know your correspondences. Lighting a candle is one of the simplest ways to invoke the corresponding elemental energy or to invoke a certain aspect of a spirit. Doing internal work, black is always a way to go. Deep introspection and inner work, purple or indigo. Incense, great for cleansing and setting the energy of your space. I'll never forget how using incense shifted the energy in my temple dramatically. Incense like myrrh and dragon's blood potentiate your magic and rituals, while frankincense and patchouli create a purified and balanced atmosphere. Sigils and scrying mirrors for manifestation and divination. Creating your own sigils, as we've explored before, personalizes your magic immensely and greatly increases the focus on the entity or energy or intention you are working with. And lastly, although there is a ton of magical tools, altar tools, different things that you could add into your practice that I am not covering in this video just because there's literally so much, please by all means expand and do all kinds of things. It'll be cool. I'm excited to see what you guys add in the comments that you use that I didn't cover. But for divination, I primarily use tarot and the I Ching. I think the I Ching's really cool. I cannot cast it. I just use an online tool that does it for me, but I like the results that I get with it. And I think tarot is super powerful. Runes and bone casting may also be done, as well as numerous other techniques, such as like oracle cards and different stuff like that. So there's a lot with divination, but I think tarot is a super important thing to pick up at some point in your practice. Practicing without tools. Now here's a crucial insight. Initially, I practiced with 0 tools. This taught me the power of raw, focused intention. You can channel and project energy using just your hands. Think of them as your built-in athames or wands. Let me show you a simple hand technique to direct energy, which you can try right now. Alright, so bear with me. This is something that I learned from Damien Eccles, to credit him, and I think maybe he even learned from Mr. Miyagi. But, you know, the classic move of like rubbing your hands together and creating friction and creating that heat energy. So I'm gonna do that for a minute. Really get it going where you can feel that heat radiating in between your palms. And as you pull them apart, feel the heat dissipate, but the radiance flow between your hands. And now your right hand is meant to direct energy. You can push out with this and direct your energy out into the world and with what you are doing. And your left hand is meant to be receptive. It's to be receiving energy and taking in. So this is your attractor, and this is your, I don't know, you're pushing out with this one. But your hands are extremely powerful in that they can direct energy all by themselves. So using that technique where you're rubbing your hands together and feeling that energy in between your palms, you can start to shape a ball of chi. And you can literally feel the sensation all around it and move it around your body, hold it in different ways, you know, and start to form energy like that. And then you can do various things with it. But beginning to work with energy just in that simple nature where you're working with that heat energy of friction in between your hands and moving it and learning your proprioception and sense and awareness of that energy, that subtle energy field that we have, or chi, is super important. So that's what I started to work with, was just my hands for directing energy. I did not have an athame, I didn't have a wand, I didn't see it as important, and I really wanted to connect with the magic was inside, you know, that all the power came from within, and that later those tools would become an extension of that magic. All right, integrating tools over time. As my practice evolved, I slowly introduced tools. Each edition wasn't just about having a tool, but understanding and aligning its energy with mine. At first, I wanted to learn how to project and use energy just within my body, and later to introduce tools and learn to use them as an extent of myself for directing and channeling energy. The very first things I used were candles. I think if you cannot afford or approach another tool or need to be discreet, a candle is a powerful way to focus your intention, visualize energy, and put your focus into the universe. They also serve as powerful offerings. The next thing I picked up was a tarot deck. Tarot is the magician's skeleton key, for lack of better words. It allows deep insight into how things are unfolding with what you are currently energetically in alignment with, and gives early practitioners a tangible way to have spirit communication. Then I added in incense and crystals. Incense can be powerful for setting the tone and energy, offerings and visualization of the smoke connecting the spiritual and the physical. I really like using incense, however I don't use it as often as I would like, because my partner does not enjoy the smell of it and it gives her a migraine. So I use it very sparingly, or when she's not home, or things like that. So not all the time. But it's a very concrete offering, it's a very energetic offering. It's a very strong visualization of that connection of the spiritual and physical as that smoke rises, you know. So I do like incense. And then crystals. Crystals are big amplifiers, so I usually, when I'm doing a ritual, take corresponding crystals to what I'm doing. If I'm doing like clipothic work, normally it's smoky quartz and tourmaline, and I'll kind of build like a grid, maybe like a triangle or a certain shape, you know, around my candles or my ritual space. and kind of have them amplify the energy around that intent and area. The last things I added were an athame and a wand. Now I'm excited to see how directing energy with my wand is like. However, using my athame has been rather intriguing. Using it to carve sigils or Hebrew into candles feels more powerful and intentional than a regular knife, and cutting through energy feels efficient and effortless. Now the next thing I want to talk about is consecrating your tools. Whether you choose to use tools or not, consecrating them is key. This ritual purifies and aligns the tool with your energy. There are a few ways to consecrate your tools. One route I at least want to mention is the very involved Solomonic way, which involves holy water, taking the item to a mass, and then taking it out during communion, getting a priest to bless it, and many more steps. That is not the route I follow, although I respect it. I myself follow a more elemental and I suppose pagan process, but I pass the item to be consecrated under the 4 elements. So I will, for example, take like a crystal and I will pass it through the flame of a candle. And then I will run it under running water. And then I will bury it with sand or earth. And then for air, I will breathe into it, breathe my life force into it. And then, of course, we have the 5th element, which is spirit. And for me, the spirit is within, right? So I believe when we speak our intention to the item while we're consecrating it, that's us adding the spirit into it in that final element. And then when all 5 elements are within that item, it's fully consecrated and ready for use and purified for your intention. So that's what I do. I think some people, do that as a common approach. The Solomonic way is super neat, it's just way too involved for what I'm trying to do, to be honest. Maybe if I really went all out for some big ritual or something, but last thing I want to talk about is making your own magical tools. Now, I really encourage this, and it's something that I have not done myself truly, aside from like my athame. I kind of, I wrapped a cord around it and I did a ritual around it, but definitely crafting your own tools from scratch is going to be a super powerful thing. Can be deeply rewarding. Personally, I like purchasing mine on Etsy or similar because I trust other people and magicians to craft something in a higher quality than I can. I'm just not very good at like physical art and stuff, like crafty stuff, so I'll leave it to somebody else. That being said, I will consecrate my own talismans and tools, and I hope to be more crafty in the future. I do believe creating your tools forges a much deeper connection to them and makes them a stronger tool for you. In conclusion, while tools are not mandatory, they can enrich your practice. Remember, the real magic comes from within you. Tools are just facilitators. I encourage you to start with what feels right, trust your intuition, and let your practice naturally evolve. Thanks for joining me today. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share your thoughts or experiences. For personal readings or more detailed guidance on crafting your tools, check out my contact info below. Stay magical, and see you in the next video. Later.